Hi, my name is Celeste and I want to teach you today about what to do after shoulder surgery. This is if you've had what is referred to as a slap lesion or work on the supraspinatus, infraspinatus, rotator cuff, any type of shoulder surgery that's in the front, in the joint itself, or in the rear head of the shoulder joint. So what is most important is three main aspirations: is to increase blood flow to the area, is to reduce contractures, which is basically where the tissue starts to stick together, and also to make sure that you're aligning the collagen fibers. What does that mean? The collagen fibers are the tissue that's going to repair, it's the parts of the tissue that's going to create cross bridges to repair the tissue. And what you want to do is assist the alignment of those cross bridges. So if you think of pulling spaghetti out of a pot and you use the prongs to pull it out and it gets in a nice big tangle, that's what will happen at the beginning after your surgery when all those collagen fibers start to weave into a tapestry. They're going to get into a mangle of a mess. And what you want to do is help them to come into a tracking. The best way to do that is to elongate the joint, stretch the joint. Increase any range of motion. This will help for all of the collagen fibers to create more of an alignment. So to do that, anything that you create length in the shoulder joint is going to assist the collagen in lining up. So one exercise that almost everybody receives right after surgery is the pendulum exercise. So that is the one where you bend forward from the waist, you take the arm and you just let the arm, without trying to go high, you just let the arm dangle and you pendulum. And the best thing to do here is to hold a weight. So I'll show you with, this is a 5-pound weight. Holding this 5-pound weight, bending forward from the waist, knees bent, letting the arms dangle, and I can feel the pull on the joint. And then you would go sideways and front and back. And you can simply pause the video when you're taking more time into each exercise. So that is a basic exercise that you would do afterwards. Another thing that happens after the surgery is there's going to be a lot of tension up in through the muscles in here and through the neck and shoulders. So anything that pulls the shoulder blades back and down is going to assist the release of tension in the neck. So one of the best exercises I love to do is interlace the fingers, slide the shoulder blades down, look up, and take a deep in-breath. And this will help to draw the scapulas down, shoulder blades, and this will help to release the tension that gets in through this area. You can also take the hands into potentially a prayer position, or a hands to shoulders. I'm going to say hands to shoulders because I think that will be easier after surgery. This is going to be a very big stretch right in through the pectoral muscle, the front of the shoulder, and this will help to release the tension in the upper neck. The other thing you can do is pull the wrist down with the opposite hand. So here I am pulling it down, and then bring the ear over to the opposite side. So the scapula is down, and then you're bringing the air over to the other side. Fantastic stretching here, right there. And then of course, just anything that is shoulder circles to finish. And you can also begin with shoulder circles to warm up the joint. So you're coming forward and back like an armless swing, armless swim, and forward and back, just like so. Now I'll just check my notes here. Then as you get into strengthening exercises, which would happen about 8 weeks after surgery, then I'll show you from the side wall. So the next exercise is to have your arm at a right angle and to have the affected arm pressing against the wall, and you do an isometric. Isometric means there's no movement, and you're pressing against the wall, and this I can feel right on the outside of the joint. You're actually activating all these muscles. These muscles do this, the outer shoulder. So you're pressing there and you're resisting, and that will really help to strengthen the back line of muscle, tricep area, as well as the outside of the shoulder. The other exercise that's quite helpful, I did this one a lot, was press the arm against the wall. So you've got your shoulder back and you're just staying, directly aligned forward. and I'm pressing the arm against the wall. This is one that I also show in the shower scene. I feel like I'm talking about a movie. This is a great one to do when you have the joint really warm. So doing that resistance there. And then another one that's really good to do is to hold on to something high. So because I'm in the yoga studio, I'm going to use an exercise band, and I'm going to hold on high, and then you bend your body to come down. So I'm actually keeping the arm highly raised and then bending down. I could also come into a lunge. So I'm going to come back this way, lunge my back leg down, lower. Oh yeah, that's kind of neat. You're going to get a good stretch. Now I'm using this exercise band with quite a bit of give. You can go a little bit tighter. So I'm going to grab on 6 inches higher and then bending down. Yep, nice pull. So I'm getting that elongation in through the rear of the shoulder and then coming down. And then you can continue that by having the arm up high, and just for the purpose of the video, I'm going to hold on to the wall. You could be holding on to the back of to the top of a shelf or something, but something that you come up high, and then you pull back, and you're pulling back so that you can stretch right in through the rear of the shoulder, in through the back muscle, right in here. And you'll also find that it's going to be super tight on the cap of the shoulder. I can really feel that tightening. So this is where we're breaking down the contractures. Contractures are muscles that's become tense. And you're also breaking down the adhesions, which is tissue that's sticking. And we're going to create that alignment of the spaghetti strands. And then the other exercise is for the rotator cuff. This is what I like to call the guillotine, that you're turning the palm down. Wow, you'll really feel this through the front head of the shoulder and possibly the rotator cuff. And then you bring the arm up. So you're coming up to the fingertips of the ceiling eventually, and then coming down like so. So that's the guillotine one. Now, anything that you are pressing the elbows back in this direction while you raise the arm is also going to be incredibly strengthening for the area, the affected area. So just remember, the shoulder does this, by the way, like tennis serve, reaching for a cupboard and high up in a cupboard, closing the car door, reaching for something in the trunk. Basically, the shoulder does this movement. So it's all directions. That's why it's a pendulum, a ball and socket joint rather, and it does pendulum motion. So what you're attempting to do is work the strength in all different ranges. So you have this one, so you would just work on, I don't mean just because it can be quite strengthening, bring the arm up and then bring the elbow down. Now the pain that I'm experiencing is the kind of pain of a drawer that's too tight, like it's really, really pulling, but I know there's nothing wrong. And I feel like that's the biggest part of post-surgery rehab, is trusting your body to have healthy pain, to work into the pain, that you can increase the range of motion, stop the contractures and the adhesions from developing and break them down by listening to, the edge of the pain. There's no bad pain here. It's just really, really tight. And that it takes a lot of trust to develop that sensibility, to be able to listen to the edge of your pain that brings you into a greater range of motion. So that is an excellent exercise to get these muscles to align and to get the collagen fibers that are healing the tissue to become aligned as well. And those are all the exercises that I would recommend. And there's one more exercise, and that is to take the elbow on top and then to draw the elbow across. This one you'll be familiar with. It's very much like eagle in yoga. And when I did that, wow, I could really feel the scar tissue. So you want to have the arm on top, pull across, and then you can circle. So you're coming over, wow. And that's very important for this area again. So right at the front of the shoulder, if your surgery involved the anterior head, and to get that area to squeeze and to keep up the range of motion. So again, on top, pull across, great to circle, and pull over, wow, as much as you can, really listening. Feel free to send this video to somebody that's had surgery, or to send me any comments or any further questions that you may have post-surgery.